Roar of the Titans. Mari McCabe pressed her palm against the ancient stone wall, tracing the carved figures with her fingertips. The temple deep in the jungles of Skull Island had stood for thousands of years, its weathered surfaces telling a story that modern archaeology had yet to decipher. "You're certain this is where the disturbance originated?" she asked, speaking into her Justice League communicator. "Positive," Cyborg's voice crackled back. "Energy signatures unlike anything we've seen before. Similar to the Skull Island incident last year and the Monarch readings from the Pacific." Mari's hand instinctively reached for the Tantu totem hanging at her neck. As Vixen, she had channeled the abilities of countless creatures, but lately her connection to the animal kingdom felt different, stronger, as if something primordial had awakened within the web of animal consciousness she could access. The ground beneath her trembled, not an earthquake, something deliberate, rhythmic, footsteps. Mari closed her eyes, focusing on the totem. "Give me the senses of a wolf," she whispered. Immediately, her hearing sharpened. She could detect the breathing of creatures for miles around, including one massive set of lungs, drawing air like a living mountain. She didn't need enhanced senses to hear what came next, a roar that shook the temple stones loose around her, a sound she recognized from news footage, from legends, from nightmares. Kong had found her. The massive gorilla crashed through the jungle canopy, chest heaving as he bellowed a warning. But to Mari's surprise, he wasn't looking at her. Kong's attention was fixed on something behind her, beyond the temple. She spun around to see a familiar blue glow cutting through the mist that clung to the distant mountains. "Godzilla," she breathed. The king of monsters emerged from the fog, his dorsal plates illuminated with azure energy. He released a deafening roar that seemed to shake the very air. Mari's mind raced. Two apex titans, converging on this forgotten temple. This wasn't coincidence. Her communicator crackled. "Mari, you need to get out of there," came Batman's voice. "We're picking up readings consistent with—" The transmission died as the temple floor beneath her cracked open, blue energy pulsing from within. Kong bounded forward, surprisingly agile for his size. He scooped Mari up just as the ground where she'd been standing collapsed entirely. The gesture wasn't gentle, but it wasn't meant to harm either. "Thanks, big guy," she gasped, steadying herself in his massive palm. Kong's eyes met hers, intelligent, wary, but not hostile. She'd worked with gorillas before, had channeled their strength and instincts, but this was different. Kong was more than just an oversized primate. Godzilla approached, each footstep creating small seismic events. The two titans regarded each other with what Mari recognized as grudging respect rather than aggression. "You're not here to fight each other," she realized aloud. "You're both here for whatever's in the temple." As if in response, the blue energy pulsed again, and something began to emerge from the chasm, a crystalline structure that hummed with otherworldly power. It rose into the air, fragments assembling themselves into a floating obelisk. Mari's totem suddenly burned hot against her skin. She gasped as unfamiliar energy flowed through her, ancient, primal power, unlike anything she'd channeled before. "The Titan soul," she whispered, knowledge somehow flooding her mind. "A conduit to the hollow earth energy that created you both." The obelisk pulsed, and 3 ethereal beams shot out, one connecting to Kong, one to Godzilla, and one directly to Mari's totem. Images flashed through her mind, prehistoric creatures, ancient civilizations, battles fought long before human history was recorded, and something else, a threat, something awakening deep beneath the Earth's crust, something that had been imprisoned for millennia. "Ghidorah's spawn," she whispered, the knowledge coming to her through the connection. "They're hatching." The sky turned dark as storm clouds gathered with unnatural speed. Lightning flashed, revealing massive winged shapes circling above. Mari closed her eyes, concentrating on her totem and this new energy flowing through it. "Titans of earth and sea," she called out, "lend me your strength." The totem glowed with blinding intensity. Mari's body suddenly surged with power as she channeled abilities she'd never accessed before, the primal might of Kong and the ancient energy of Godzilla simultaneously flowing through her. She leaped from Kong's palm, her body growing, transforming. Golden energy reminiscent of Godzilla's atomic breath outlined her form as she reached nearly 30 feet in height, nowhere near the size of the titans beside her, but far beyond anything she'd ever accomplished before. "This is new," she said, her voice deeper, resonating with power. The first of Ghidorah's offspring, a golden three-headed dragon smaller than its parent but no less deadly, descended through the clouds, screeching with hunger and rage. Kong beat his chest and roared a challenge. Godzilla's dorsal plates blazed with blue fire. Mari, now a hybrid titan herself, felt the instincts of both creatures flowing through her consciousness, the territorial dominance of Godzilla, the protective fury of Kong, their shared hatred for the alien destroyer. "Together," she growled, her voice carrying the harmonics of both titans. Kong moved first, using the temple ruins as a launching pad to leap into the air, catching one of the dragon's tails and yanking it downward. Godzilla charged his atomic breath, the blue glow illuminating the battlefield. Mari focused on her new form, feeling the raw power at her disposal. With a primal scream, she unleashed a blast of golden energy from her hands, a modified version of Godzilla's atomic breath, channeled through the ancient magic of her totem. The beam struck the dragon's central head, disorienting it long enough for Kong to drag it to the ground. Godzilla's atomic breath sliced through one of its wings, grounding it permanently, but 3 more shapes were descending from the clouds. "We need to seal the breach," Mari called out, somehow knowing the Titans could understand her. "They're coming through a portal in the hollow earth." Kong and Godzilla exchanged looks, then both turned to Mari. She felt their acknowledgement through the connection of the Titan's soul. Godzilla moved toward the temple ruins, his claws digging into the earth to expose more of the pulsing blue energy beneath. Kong bounded ahead, clearing massive chunks of stone and earth. Mari channeled Kong's strength, helping to dig while the 2 Titans held off the remaining dragons. The breach grew visible, a swirling vortex of energy leading to a massive cavern where dozens more golden eggs were pulsing with life. The Titan Soul obelisk hovered above them, its glow intensifying. Mari understood what needed to happen. "The soul can seal the breach," she called out, "but it needs direction, a consciousness to guide it." She placed her hands on the obelisk, channeling the combined essence of Kong and Godzilla through her totem. The connection between the 3 of them strengthened, becoming a circuit of primordial power. Above, the dragons screeched in fury, sensing their impending imprisonment. They dove toward the breach, determined to break through. "Now!" Mari shouted. Godzilla's atomic breath and Kong's thunderous roar combined with Mari's channeled energy. The Titan's soul absorbed their power, then released it in a blinding flash that engulfed the breach. The vortex collapsed in on itself, the dragons caught in its pull, screaming as they were dragged back into the hollow earth. The ground sealed itself with crystalline blue energy that hardened into stone. Silence fell over the jungle. Mari felt the Titan energy receding, her body returning to human size. She collapsed to her knees, exhausted but exhilarated. Kong approached, crouching to examine her with curious eyes. Godzilla remained at a distance, his ancient gaze respectful. "Thank you," she said simply. The colossal gorilla gently tapped his chest with one massive finger, then pointed to hers. "To her totem." "Yes," she smiled. "We're connected now, all of us." Godzilla's dorsal plates flashed once more before he turned away, heading back toward the ocean. Kong watched him go, then looked down at Mari one last time before disappearing into the jungle canopy. Mari touched her totem, feeling the lingering connection to these ancient beings. The Justice League would want answers, scientists would demand explanations, but some connections transcended human understanding. The bond between Titans and now, the human who could channel their power, existed on a plane beyond words. She tapped her communicator. "This is Vixen. Mission accomplished. And you're not going to believe the story I have to tell."